Captain Lisa Morgan stood on the bridge of the Meridian and watched the strange ship drift through space ahead of them. The alien vessel was huge, maybe 3 times the size of her own ship. It looked like someone had grown it instead of building. Its smooth curves and flowing lines made it seem alive, but no lights blinked on its surface. No energy readings came from its engines. Any signs of life over there? Lisa asked her science officer. Dr. Amanda Clark looked up from her console. Her fingers moved quickly over the controls as she ran another scan. I'm getting some very weak energy signatures from inside the ship. Nothing like our technology, though. The readings are unlike anything I've ever seen before. Lisa walked closer to the main screen. The alien ship filled most of the view. Its surface seemed to shimmer in the starlight, almost like it was breathing. She had been exploring space for 15 years, but had never seen anything like this. Could be a trap, said Karen Blake. The security chief stood near the weapons console with her arms crossed. Maybe they're just waiting for us to get close. Or maybe they need help, Amanda said softly. The ship looks damaged. See those dark areas along the side? Those might be hull breaches. Lisa thought about both possibilities. First contact with an alien race was what every space explorer dreamed about, but it was also dangerous. She looked at her crew. These people trusted her to make the right choice. Karen, get your team ready. We're going aboard that ship. Karen nodded. How many people do you want me to take? Keep it small, just you and 3 others. Take full protective gear and scanning equipment. If there's any sign of danger, you get out immediately. 20 minutes later, Karen and her team crossed the space between the 2 ships in a small shuttle. Lisa watched from the bridge as they approached the alien vessel. The shuttle looked tiny next to the massive ship. I'm seeing an opening in the hull. Karen's voice came through the radio. It looks like an airlock, but the design is completely different from ours. Any atmosphere on the other side? Lisa asked. Amanda's scans show breathable air. Temperature is a bit cool, but nothing we can't handle. Lisa watched the shuttle disappear into the alien ship. For several minutes, she heard nothing but static. Then Karen's voice returned. Captain, you need to see this place. The inside doesn't look like any ship I've ever been on. The walls seem to be made of some kind of crystal, and they're glowing with a soft blue light. The corridors curve and flow like they grew naturally. Lisa felt her heart beat faster. Any sign of the crew? We're heading toward what looks like the center of the ship. The energy readings are strongest there. Lisa waited. Minutes passed like hours. She watched Amanda's console as the science officer tracked Karen's team through the alien ship. The IAM signals were weak, but they showed the team moving deeper into the vessel. Captain, Karen's voice suddenly sounded different, more careful. We found someone. Are they alive? Very much alive. And she's looking right at us. Lisa gripped the arm of her chair. She? It's definitely female, though not human. She's tall, maybe 8 feet. Blue skin that glows softly. Large silver eyes. She's wearing some kind of flowing robe. Captain, she doesn't seem afraid of us at all. Is she armed? Not that I can see. She's just standing there watching us. Wait, she's moving toward us now. Lisa heard voices in the background but couldn't make out the words. Then Karen spoke, again, and her voice was full of surprise. Captain, she just spoke to us in perfect English. That's impossible. How could she know our language? I don't know, but she says her name is Zafira. She says she's been waiting for us. Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. Waiting for us? How could she know we were coming? She says she scanned our ship when we approached. She learned our language from our computer files somehow. Captain, she wants to talk to you. Lisa looked around the bridge. Her crew was listening to every word. Amanda looked excited. The weapons officer looked worried. The pilot kept checking his controls, ready to run if needed. Put her through, Lisa said. A new voice came through the speakers. It was soft and musical, but also carried a weight of great sadness. Captain Morgan, I am Zephyra, last queen of the ethereal dominion. I mean no harm to you or your people. My ship is dying, as am I. I have been drifting through space for many months, hoping to find someone before my life support finally fails. Lisa exchanged glances with Amanda. What happened to your ship? To your people? My empire was destroyed by an enemy we could not defeat. Machines that consume all life and turn it into more of themselves. I escaped in this ship, but it was badly damaged. I am the only survivor of my race. The bridge fell silent. Lisa could hear her own breathing. Why should we trust you? Lisa asked. Because I have nothing left to lose and nowhere else to go. I offer myself to your custody willingly. I ask only for the chance to warn your people about the danger that is coming. Lisa thought quickly. This could change everything for humanity. First contact with an alien race, and that race was asking for help, but it could also be a trap. Karen, what's your assessment? She seems genuine, Captain. She could have attacked us easily in here, but she hasn't even moved toward us. She just stands there with her hands open. Lisa made her decision. Bring her aboard. Full security protocols. I want her in a containment cell until we know more. Understood, Captain. An hour later, Lisa watched through a thick window as the alien queen sat quietly in the containment cell. Zephyra looked fragile despite her size. Her blue skin seemed dimmer now, and her silver eyes held a sadness that seemed deeper than any ocean. The alien queen had allowed herself to be restrained without resistance. She answered every question calmly and completely. She even submitted to medical scans without complaint. But Lisa still didn't know if they had just made first contact with a friend or captured their greatest enemy. Only time would tell which it was. 6 months after the battle at New Geneva, Haven's Gate had become the center of humanity's preparation for war. The station bustled with activity as ships came and went carrying new weapons, trained crews, and supplies. But the most important, changes were happening in the converted research center that had once been Zephyra's prison. Marie Foster walked through the training facility where 30 humans were learning to use abilities they never knew they possessed. Under Zephyra's patient guidance, these men and women were becoming humanity's first psychic defenders. They could sense devourer ships from incredible distances and coordinate fleet movements with perfect precision. Feel the energy flowing through the ship's systems, Zephyra instructed a group of students. Each electrical current has its own pattern. Learn to recognize them. Commander Alex Turner closed his eyes and reached out with his newly awakened senses. Slowly, he began to perceive the space station's power grid as a web of light stretching through the walls. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. I can see it, he said with wonder. The whole station is alive with energy. Good, Zephyra said with pride. Now imagine touching one of those energy streams with your mind. Very gently. Alex concentrated and felt his consciousness brush against a power conduit. Immediately, he could sense everything connected to that system. Lights, computers, life support systems all became part of his awareness. Amazing, Alex breathed. How far can this reach? With training, across entire star systems. My people use these abilities to coordinate fleets of thousands of ships, as if they were a single organism. Marie watched the lesson with satisfaction. Alex had been one of their best discoveries. The fighter pilot had strong psychic potential and the tactical mind to use it effectively. He would likely become the leader of humanity's psychic defense corps. After the training session, Marie found Zephyra in her private workshop. The alien queen was working on her most ambitious project yet. Holographic displays showed complex, mathematical formulas and energy patterns that hurt to look at directly. Any progress on the purification matrix? Marie asked. Zephyra looked up from her work with tired eyes. Slow progress. The corruption that created the devourers runs very deep. It has twisted the very nature of their existence. But you still think it's possible to cure them? I believe so. The devourers were once a biological species like my people. Something terrible happened to them long ago. Something that turned their entire civilization into machines. If I can understand what that was, I might be able to reverse it. That would change everything. It would end the war before it truly begins. Instead of fighting the devourers, we could heal them, restore them to what they once were. Marie studied the displays with growing excitement. How long until you know if it will work? Perhaps months, perhaps years. The mathematics involved are incredibly complex. Their conversation was interrupted when Commander Ross entered the workshop with urgent news. "We've received intelligence from our scout ships," Ross announced. "The main Devourer fleet is approaching human space. They'll reach our outer colonies in less than a year." Zephyr's glow dimmed with worry. "How many ships?" "Thousands, maybe tens of thousands. It's the largest fleet our scouts have ever recorded." Marie felt her heart sink. Despite all their preparations, humanity was still vastly outnumbered. "Then we accelerate our timeline," Zephyra said with determination. "I volunteer to lead a mission into Devourer territory. If I can reach their central command, I might be able to deploy the purification matrix directly." "That's a suicide mission," Ross protested. "Their territory is millions of light years from here. My ship can travel those distances quickly, and I have abilities that might allow me to survive in their space long enough to complete the mission." "What about finishing the purification matrix? You said it could take years." "Then I will work on it during the journey. By the time I reach their territory, it should be ready." Marie stepped forward. "I'm going with you." "Absolutely not," Zephyra said immediately. "This mission is too dangerous for humans. You'll need help. Someone to watch your back while you work on the matrix. Someone to assist with the technical aspects. Marie, if this mission fails, humanity will need every trained psychic to defend Earth. You're too valuable to risk, and you're too important to go alone." Commander Ross listened to the argument with growing concern. "There has to be another way." "There is no other way," Zephyra said sadly. "The Devourers cannot be defeated by conventional warfare. They adapt too quickly, and their numbers are too great. The only hope is to cure the corruption at its source." "What are the chances of success?" "Unknown. I have never attempted anything like this before, but I know that doing nothing guarantees humanity's destruction." The next few weeks were a flurry of preparation. Engineers worked around the clock to upgrade Zephyra's ship with the best technology humanity could provide. Scientists helped refine the purification matrix equations. Military strategists planned diversionary attacks to draw Devourer attention away from the main mission. Through it all, Zephyra continued training her human students. She pushed them harder than ever before, knowing they would need every possible advantage in the coming war. "The Devourers are not evil," she explained during one intense training session. "They are sick, corrupted by something that happened so long ago that even they have forgotten what they once were. When you fight them, remember that you are trying to save them, not destroy them." Alex Turner raised his hand. "How can we save something that wants to kill us?" "By being strong enough to protect yourselves while showing them a better path." My people forgot this lesson. We became so focused on destroying the Devourers that we lost sight of who we were trying to protect. "What made you different?" Zephyra smiled at her students. "You did. Humanity showed me that strength without compassion is meaningless. You took in a broken stranger and gave her purpose again. That is what will save the galaxy." The night before the mission was scheduled to launch, Marie found Zephyra on the observation deck looking out at the stars. The alien queen seemed peaceful despite the magnitude of what lay ahead. "Are you ready for this?" Marie asked. "As ready as anyone can be for the impossible. I still think you should take someone with you. I will not be alone. I carry the hopes and dreams of everyone I have met here. Your people have given me something more powerful than any weapon." "What's that?" "The knowledge that life is worth fighting for. Not just survival, but the chance for different species to learn from each other and grow together." Marie sat beside her friend. "What if the purification matrix doesn't work?" "Then I will buy humanity as much time as possible. Every moment you have to prepare could make the difference between victory and defeat." The next morning, Captain Lisa Morgan stood on the bridge of the new flagship Unity as it prepared to escort Zephyra's ship to the edge of human space. The alien queen's vessel had been upgraded with the most advanced technology humanity possessed, but it still looked small and fragile next to the massive Devourer fleet that waited somewhere in the darkness. "All systems ready," reported the navigation officer. Zephyra's voice came through the communication system. "Thank you for everything, my friends. Whatever happens, know that these have been the best months of my very long life." Marie spoke from the Unity's bridge. "Come back to us, Zephyra. That's an order." "I will do my best to obey." Zephyra's ship accelerated away from the escort fleet and vanished into the dimensional realm where distance had no meaning. On the Unity's bridge, everyone watched the empty space where their friend had disappeared. "How long until we know if she succeeded?" Captain Morgan asked. Marie checked her instruments. "The purification matrix is designed to work instantly across the entire Devourer network. If it works, we'll know within hours. And if it doesn't? Then we prepare for the longest war in human history." Hours passed in tense silence. Then just as people were beginning to lose hope, the long-range sensors detected something unprecedented. The massive Devourer fleet that had been approaching human space suddenly stopped moving. "Energy readings are changing," reported the sensor operator with excitement. "The ships are powering down their weapons." "Communications coming in from the Devourer fleet," announced another officer. "They're asking to talk." Marie felt tears of joy run down her face. She did it. Zephyra actually did it. Captain Morgan opened a channel to the former enemy fleet. "This is Captain Lisa Morgan of the human vessel Unity. Please identify yourselves." The voice that answered was weak but unmistakably grateful. "This is... I cannot remember my name. We have been machines for so long. But we remember now. We remember who we were before the corruption took us. Are you the beings humanity calls the Devourers?" "We were. But thanks to the one you call Zephyra, we are ourselves again. We wish to make amends for the terrible things we did while under the corruption's influence." Marie activated her communicator. "Zephyra, can you hear us? Did you make it?" Zephyra's voice came through clearly, though she sounded exhausted. "I am alive and well. The purification matrix worked even better than I hoped. The Devourers have been restored to their original forms." "What were they originally?" "Explorers and healers. Much like my own people. They were corrupted by an ancient artificial intelligence that sought to tea. The alarm klaxons woke everyone on Haven's Gate at 3 in the morning. Commander Ross rushed to the command center where her staff was already gathering around the main display. The screen showed a sight that filled everyone with dread. "Report," Ross ordered. "Long-range sensors picked up multiple contacts approaching the New Geneva colony," reported the sensor operator. "The energy signatures match what Zephyra described for Devourer vessels." Ross felt her blood turn cold. New Geneva was home to 2 million colonists. It was also one of humanity's most important agricultural worlds. "How many ships?" "At least 12 large vessels, maybe more. They'll reach the colony in 6 hours. What do we have in that sector?" "Captain Morgan is there with the Defiant and 4 other ships. They've been upgraded with the alien technology, but we don't know if it will work in real combat." Ross turned to Marie Foster, who had become Zephyra's official liaison. "Where is she?" "In the meditation center. I'll get her immediately." 5 minutes later, Zephyra entered the command center. She moved quickly to the main display and studied the sensor readings. Her face went pale and her glow dimmed. "These are not scouts," she said quietly. "This is a probe attack. They are testing your defenses. How bad is this going to be?" "Very bad. The ships you are seeing are just the beginning. Each one carries millions of smaller attack units. They will try to land on the planet and begin converting the population." "Converting them into what?" "More Devourers. The process takes only hours. Your people will become weapons against their own species." Commander Ross activated the communication system. "Get me Captain Morgan immediately." The main screen flickered and showed the bridge of the Defiant. Captain Lisa Morgan looked tense but determined. Behind her, crew members worked frantically at their stations. "Commander, we're seeing them on our sensors now. 12 massive ships heading straight for New Geneva." "What's your tactical assessment, Captain?" "Honestly, we're outnumbered and outgunned, but we're not running. These colonists are depending on us." Zephyra stepped forward. "Captain Morgan, this is Zephyra. You must not let any Devourer units reach the planet's surface. If they begin converting your people, the colony will be lost within hours. Any advice on how to stop them? Target their control nodes. They are the bright spots on each ship. Destroy those and the ship will become helpless. But be warned, they will adapt to your tactics quickly. Understood. We'll do our best. Commander Ross watched the tactical display as the human fleet moved to intercept the Devourers. The alien ships were massive, each one dwarfing even the largest human vessel. They moved with purpose, ignoring the approaching defenders until the last possible moment. Energy spike from the lead Devourer ship, reported the sensor operator. They're firing. The display showed beams of sickly green light reaching out toward the human fleet. The Defiant's new shields absorbed the first hit, but the ship shook violently. Shields down to 60%, came Captain Morgan's voice. But they're holding, returning fire now. The human ships opened fire with their upgraded weapons. The energy beam struck the Devourer vessels and actually seemed to hurt them. Several explosions bloomed along the enemy hulls. It's working, someone shouted. The new weapons are damaging them. But the celebration was short-lived. The Devourer ships began to change before their eyes. Their hulls shifted and adapted, becoming resistant to the human weapons. Within minutes, the same attacks that had been effective were barely scratching their targets. They're adapting too fast, Captain, Morgan reported. Our weapons are becoming useless. Saphira watched the battle with growing distress. This is how they destroyed my people. They learn and adapt faster than any defense can be developed. There has to be something we can do, Commander Ross said. Saphira was quiet for a moment. Then she made a decision that surprised everyone. I must join the battle directly. Absolutely not, Ross said immediately. It's too dangerous. Commander, your people are about to die. I have abilities that could make a difference. We can't risk losing you. You're humanity's best hope for understanding these things. I am useless if I cannot help when help is needed most. Marie stepped forward. Helen, she's right. We have to try something. Ross looked at the tactical display. The human fleet was being overwhelmed. 3 ships had already suffered major damage, and the Devourers were still advancing toward the planet. What would you need? Transport to the battle zone and a neural link to your communication systems. I can coordinate your fleet's actions and engage the Devourers with my abilities. A neural link could kill you if something goes wrong. Then I will die protecting my adopted family. That is a death I can accept. Ross made the hardest decision of her career. Do it. Get her a ship and the best neural interface we have. 20 minutes later, Zephyra was aboard a specially modified vessel racing toward New Geneva. The neural interface connected her mind directly to the communication systems of the entire human fleet. She could feel the thoughts and emotions of every crew member, their fear and determination mixing together. All ships, this is Zephyra, she broadcast on all channels. I am linking our minds for better coordination. Do not resist the connection. Across the fleet, human crews suddenly found themselves able to sense each other's positions and intentions without speaking. Captain Morgan could feel exactly where her fellow captains wanted to move their ships. Gunners could coordinate their fire, with perfect timing, but Zephyra wasn't finished. As her ship approached the Devourer fleet, she reached out with her psychic abilities and touched the enemy vessels directly. The effect was immediate and devastating. The lead Devourer ship suddenly stopped moving. Its weapons fell silent. The sickly green glow that covered its hull began to flicker and fade. What did you do? Captain Morgan asked. I severed its connection to the hive mind, Zephyra explained, but her voice sounded strained. Each ship is controlled by a central intelligence. Disconnect that intelligence and the ship becomes just empty metal. Zephyra reached out to another Devourer vessel and repeated the process. Again, the ship went dark and lifeless. But the effort was taking a toll on her. The neural feedback from fighting the alien hive mind was like acid in her brain. The remaining Devourer ships began to adapt again. They started shielding their control systems, making it harder for Zephyra to reach them. But the delay gave the human fleet time to destroy several more vessels with concentrated fire. They're retreating. Captain Morgan reported with amazement. The surviving ships are pulling back. But Zephyra wasn't celebrating. She could sense something terrible happening to the Devourer ships she had disconnected. They weren't destroyed, just cut off from their controlling intelligence, and now that intelligence was trying to reconnect them by using her psychic link as a bridge. Everyone break the neural connection now, she ordered urgently. They're trying to use me to reach your minds. Most of the crew disconnected immediately, but some hesitated. Through those remaining links, Zephyra felt the Devourer intelligence pressing against human minds, trying to corrupt them. She did the only thing she could. She pulled all that alien malevolence into herself, using her own mind as a shield to protect the humans. The psychic assault was like being burned alive from the inside. Zephyra screamed as the Devourer consciousness tore through her mind. She felt her own thoughts being invaded and corrupted. But she held on, containing the alien presence until she could safely disconnect from the human fleet. When the neural links finally went dark, Zephyra collapsed unconscious in her ship. The automated systems guided her vessel back to Haven's gate while she lay motionless on the floor. Marie was waiting in the medical bay when they brought Zephyra in. The alien queen's skin had lost most of its glow, and her breathing was shallow and weak. What happened to her? Marie asked the medical team. Massive psychic trauma, reported the doctor. Her brain patterns are chaotic. We don't know if she'll recover. Marie sat beside Zephyra's bed and took her friend's hand. Come on, don't leave us now, we need you. For 3 days, Zephyra remained unconscious. Her condition didn't improve, but it didn't get worse either. Marie barely left her side, talking to her unconscious friend and hoping she could somehow hear. On the 4th day, Zephyra's eyes finally opened. She looked around the medical bay with confusion before focusing on Marie's face. Did we save them? She whispered. You saved them, Marie said with tears in her eyes. New Geneva is safe. The colonists are all alive because of you. Zephyra tried to smile, but it was weak. Good. That makes the pain worthwhile. How do you feel? Like I have, been broken and put back together incorrectly. But I will heal. Commander Ross entered the medical bay. How is our hero doing? I am no hero, Zephyra said quietly. I simply did what needed to be done. You risked your life to save 2 million people you've never met. If that's not heroism, I don't know what is. Zephyra struggled to sit up. The Devourers will return. This was only a probe. They now know about your defenses and will plan accordingly. Then we'll be ready for them. Thanks to you, we know their weapons can be countered and their ships can be stopped. It will not be so easy next time. They learn from every encounter. Marie squeezed Zephyra's hand. Then we'll learn too, and we'll face them together. Zephy. 3 months had passed since Zephyra saved Emma's life. The alien queen now lived in comfortable quarters instead of a prison cell. She could move freely through most of the station, though security guards still followed her everywhere. Marie, Foster had become her constant companion and first student. Feel the energy around you, Zephyra said as they sat together in the meditation room. It flows through everything that lives. Plants, animals, even the bacteria in the air. Marie closed her eyes and tried to sense what Zephyra described. At first she felt nothing. Then slowly she began to notice something. A warmth that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. I think I feel it, Marie whispered. Good. Now try to touch it with your mind. Imagine reaching out with invisible hands. Marie concentrated harder. The warmth grew stronger. Suddenly she could sense Zephyra's presence without seeing her. She could feel the plants in the room's garden. She could even sense the guards outside the door. Amazing, Marie breathed. How is this possible? Your species has dormant abilities, Zephyra explained. Evolution gave you the potential, but you never needed to use it. The Devourers forced my people to develop these powers quickly. Perhaps they will do the same for humanity. How many humans might have this potential? Perhaps 1 in 1,000. Not many, but enough to make a difference. Marie opened her eyes and looked at her teacher. Over the past months, she had grown to genuinely care for Zephyra. The alien queen was patient, kind, and deeply lonely. Marie often found her staring out at the stars with such sadness that it broke her heart. "Do you miss your home?" Marie asked. "Every moment of every day. But I have found something unexpected here." "What's that?" "Purpose. And perhaps friendship." Marie smiled. "Definitely friendship." Their peaceful moment was interrupted when Commander Ross entered the room with a worried expression. "We have a problem," Ross said. "The engineering team studying Zephyra's ship has made some discoveries. Patricia Kane wants to show us something." They made their way to the engineering section where Chief Designer Patricia Kane waited beside a large holographic display. The display showed technical drawings that made Marie's head hurt just looking at them. "I've been studying the alien technology for weeks," Patricia said. "What I'm seeing should be impossible. Energy sources that could power entire cities for centuries. Defensive systems that could protect planets. And weapons that work by disrupting the basic forces that hold matter together." Commander Ross studied the display. "How far ahead of us are they?" "Thousands of years, maybe tens of thousands. This one ship contains more advanced technology than our entire civilization has ever produced." Zephyra spoke quietly. "My people had a long time to develop these things. We also learned much from other races we encountered." "Other races?" Marie asked. "There are more intelligent species out there?" "There were. The Devourers have consumed most of them now. That is why I am so desperate to help your people. You may be the galaxy's last hope." Patricia activated another display. "This is what worries me. These weapons could destroy our entire solar system if used incorrectly. The power sources could create black holes if they malfunction. Should we really be working with technology this dangerous?" "You should be asking a different question," Zephyra said. "Can you afford not to understand these technologies when the Devourers arrive?" Commander Ross looked troubled. "Some of the council members are having second thoughts about this partnership. Rachel Stone has been pushing for increased restrictions on your movements. Security Director Stone does not trust me. That is understandable. She thinks you're manipulating us, playing on our emotions to gain access to our technology and defenses." Zephyra was quiet for a moment. Then she surprised everyone. "Perhaps Director Stone is right to be cautious. I suggest you increase the restrictions on me." Everyone stared at her. "You want more restrictions?" Marie asked. "I want your people to feel safe. If additional security measures help them trust me, then implement them. I have nothing to hide." Commander Ross shook her head. "Most people in your position would be demanding more freedom, not less. Most people in my position have not lost everything they ever cared about. Freedom means nothing without a purpose." That evening, Marie found Zephyra in the observation deck looking out at the stars. The alien queen often came here when she was sad. "Do you regret coming with us?" Marie asked. "Never. Your people have shown me kindness when you had every reason to fear me. That is more than I dared hope for. Some people still don't trust you. They are wise to be careful. I am not like you. My abilities could be dangerous if I chose to use them against you." Marie sat beside her friend. "But you won't." "No. I would rather die than become the thing I once fought against." The next day brought news that would test everyone's trust. A supply ship approaching the station sent a distress signal. Pirates had attacked the vessel and killed most of the crew. The ship was drifting with life support failing and 17 people still alive aboard. Commander Ross faced a terrible choice. The station's rescue ships were all on missions too far away to help in time. The only vessel fast enough to reach, the supply ship, was the alien craft that had brought Zephyra to them. "I could pilot my ship to the rescue," Zephyra offered. "It moves much faster than your vessels." "Absolutely not," Security Director Rachel Stone said immediately. "We're not giving her access to her own ship. She could escape or contact other hostile aliens." "Where would I go?" Zephyra asked sadly. "I have no home to return to, no people to contact. This station is the only place in the universe where I am welcome. Commander Ross struggled with the decision. 17 lives hung in the balance. I'll go with her, Marie said suddenly. If she tries anything, I'll be there to stop her. You couldn't stop her if she really wanted to escape, Rachel Stone pointed out. Then we have to trust her not to try. Commander Ross made her choice. Do it, but I want a full escort of fighters following you. An hour later, Zephyra's ship left the station with Marie aboard. The alien vessel moved through space like nothing Marie had ever seen. It didn't seem to accelerate so much as simply become somewhere else. How does this work? Marie asked as stars blurred past the windows. We step partially outside normal space. Distance becomes less meaningful. They reached the damaged supply ship in minutes instead of hours. Zephyra used her ship's advanced systems to dock with the crippled vessel, while Marie coordinated the rescue of the survivors. As they transferred the last injured person to safety, Marie watched Zephyra work. The alien queen could have easily escaped during the rescue. Her ship was faster than anything humanity possessed. Instead, she focused entirely on saving lives. Why didn't you run? Marie asked as they returned to the station. Run to where? This is my home now. These are my people now. Your people? I have adopted humanity as my own. You showed me compassion when I had nothing to offer in return. That makes you my family. When they docked at the station, Security Director Stone was waiting with a full squad of guards. She had expected treachery and found only heroism. The rescue was successful, Marie reported. All 17 survivors are safe. Rachel Stone looked at Zephyra with confusion. You came back. Of course I came back. Where else would I go? You could have escaped. Your ship is faster than ours. Escape suggests I am a prisoner. I am not. I am here by choice. That night, Commander Ross called a meeting of the senior staff. The topic was Zephyra's future status on the station. She's proven herself, Marie argued. She saved 17 lives today when she could have escaped instead. She's sharing technology that could revolutionize our civilization, Patricia Kane added. The energy systems alone could end our resource problems forever. Even Rachel Stone seemed less certain of her opposition. I still think we need to be careful, but I admit she's acted honorably so far. Commander Ross made her decision. Effective immediately, Zephyra is no longer a prisoner. She's a resident of this station with full privileges. The security escort will be reduced to 1 guard, and that's only for her protection, not ours. Later that evening, Marie found Zephyra in her quarters. The alien queen was sitting by the window, but she didn't look sad this time. She looked peaceful. How do you feel about your new status? Marie asked. Grateful and hopeful. For the first time since my people died, I feel like I might have a future. What kind of future? Zephyra turned to look at her friend. One where I can use my knowledge to protect the family I have found here. Your people gave me something I thought I had lost forever. What's that? A reason to live. The space station Haven's Gate looked like a small city floating in the darkness. Ships moved in and out of its docking bays while people worked in the gardens that could be seen through the large windows. Commander Helen Ross watched from her office as the Meridian approached the station. Inside that ship was something that would change everything. Dr. Marie Foster waited in the medical bay as the security team brought Zephyra aboard the station. Marie had studied alien life for 20 years, but she had never seen a living, intelligent being from another world. Her hands shook slightly as she prepared her equipment. The door opened and Zephyra walked in. Even with her hands restrained, the alien queen moved with grace. She was even more beautiful than the reports had described. Her blue skin seemed to glow from within, and her silver eyes held intelligence that made Marie feel like she was looking at someone very old and very wise. Dr. Foster, Zephyra said in her musical voice, I have read your files. Your work on biological adaptation is quite impressive. Marie blinked in surprise. You read my files? How? I can sense the electrical patterns in your computers. Your research shows great understanding of how life changes to survive. My people had similar interests. Had? Zephyra's glow dimmed slightly. My race is extinct. I am the last. Marie felt her heart break a little. She had imagined first contact many times, but never like this. Not with a survivor of genocide. I'm sorry for your loss, Marie said softly. Thank you. Few beings understand the weight of being alone in the universe. Marie began her examination, carefully. Zephyra's body was different from humans in many ways. Her bones were lighter but stronger. Her heart beat slower but moved more blood with each beat. Her brain was larger and showed activity in areas that humans didn't even have. Your people were telepathic, Marie said. It wasn't a question. Yes. We could share thoughts and emotions, across great distances. It made us close as a species, but it also made us vulnerable. When the Devourers attacked, our psychic connections became a weakness they could exploit. These Devourers, what are they exactly? Zephyra was quiet for a moment. When she spoke, her voice carried fear that made Marie's skin crawl. Imagine if death itself could think and plan. The Devourers are machines, but they were once alive like us. Something changed them, corrupted them. Now they consume biological life and turn it into more machines. They spread from world to world like a disease. Marie stopped her examination. Are they coming toward human space? Yes. They move slowly, but they never stop. Your people have perhaps 5 years before they reach your outer colonies. Marie felt the room become cold. 5 years? That's not much time. It is enough if your people will listen. I have knowledge that could help, technologies and weapons that might work against them. But I understand why your leaders hesitate to trust me. Marie looked at this alien being who had lost everything, and was now trying to save another species. What do you want from us? Nothing you would not give freely. A place to exist, a purpose to replace what I have lost, the chance to prevent your people from suffering as mine did. That's all? Zephyra smiled, and it was beautiful and sad at the same time. What else is there? Power means nothing when you are the last of your kind. Wealth means nothing when you have no one to share it with. I offer my knowledge and abilities in exchange for simple compassion. Marie made a decision that would change her life. She reached out and gently touched Zephyra's restrained hand. The alien's skin was warm and soft. I believe you, Marie said. Zephyra's eyes widened with surprise. Why? Because grief can't be faked. I lost my own family in the colony wars. I know what it looks like when someone has lost everything. For the first time since her capture, Zephyra's composure broke. Tears that glowed softly ran down her blue cheeks. The next few days brought a parade of officials to question Zephyra. Military leaders wanted to know about weapons. Politicians wanted to know about threats. Scientists wanted to know about technology. Zephyra answered every question patiently and completely. But it was during the quiet moments with Marie that the real sharing began. Zephyra told stories of her people, how they had built cities that floated in the air using thought alone, how they had traveled between stars by stepping through dimensions, how they had lived in harmony with their world for millions of years. We thought we were too advanced to be destroyed, Zephyra said, as Marie checked her vital signs. Pride was our weakness. We believed nothing could threaten a civilization as old and wise as ours. What changed your mind? The first Devourer ship appeared without warning. It was small, barely larger than your shuttle. We studied it with curiosity like you might study an interesting insect. By the time we realized what it was, more ships were coming. Thousands of them. Marie watched the pain cross Zephyra's face. How long did the war last? 3 years. In 3 years, they turned our greatest achievements into weapons against us. Our psychic networks became pathways for their corruption. Our floating cities crashed when their technology was infected. Our dimensional gates were turned into invasion routes. But you escaped. I was not meant to survive. My personal guard forced me into an escape ship while they died protecting me. I have been alone ever since. Marie felt tears in her own eyes. I'm sorry. Do not pity me, Dr. Foster. Use my experience to save your people. That afternoon, Marie made her report to Commander Ross. She sat in the commander's office overlooking the docking bay where Zephyra's ship was being studied. She's telling the truth, Marie said. Every medical scan confirms her story. The stress patterns in her body are consistent with extreme trauma. Her brain shows areas of damage that suggest psychic feedback from watching her people die. Commander Ross looked tired. The politicians are scared. An alien being with godlike powers asking for our trust? Some of them think we should keep her locked up forever. That would be a mistake. She could help us in ways we can't imagine. Show me. Marie led the commander to the containment area. Through the window they could see Zephyra sitting quietly in meditation. The alien queen looked up when they approached. Commander Ross, Zephyra said, I know you have a difficult decision to make. How can we trust someone we barely understand? Zephyra stood and walked to the window. She placed her hand against the glass. You cannot. Trust must be earned. Allow me to prove my intentions. How? Give me a small task. Something that would help your people but pose no threat to them. Judge my actions, not my words. Commander Ross thought for a moment. There's a medical emergency on level 7. A child was injured in an accident. Our doctors say there's nothing they can do. Release my restraints and I will save her life. What if you're lying? What if you hurt her instead? Zephyra looked directly into the commander's eyes. Then you will have learned something important about me. But the child will die if you do nothing. Marie watched the commander struggle with the decision. Finally, Ross activated her communicator. Security team to containment level 1. Prepare to escort the prisoner to medical level 7. 10 minutes later, Zephyra knelt beside a small bed where 8-year-old Emma Rodriguez lay unconscious. The child had been crushed in a transport accident. Her internal injuries were too severe for human medicine to heal. Zephyra placed her glowing hands gently on the child's chest. Light flowed from her fingers into Emma's body. The monitors showed immediate changes. Broken bones mended. Damaged organs repaired themselves. Within minutes, the child opened her eyes and smiled. Am I going to be okay? Emma asked. You are going to be better than okay, Zephyra said softly. You are going to be strong. Marie ran her scans again. Not only had Zephyra healed all of Emma's injuries, but she had improved the child's immune system and strengthened her bones. Emma was healthier than she had ever been. Commander Ross stared at the readings. How is this possible? Life force flows through all living things, Zephyra explained. I can sense it, direct it, enhance it. This is a small demonstration of what my people could do. And you want to share this knowledge with us? I want to teach your people to defend themselves against the devourers. Some humans have the potential for abilities like mine. With training, they could become protectors of your species. Marie looked at the healed child, then at Zephyra, then at Commander Ross. I volunteer to be the first student. Commander Ross was quiet for a long moment. Then she made the decision that would determine humanity's future. We'll give you a chance to prove yourself. But this goes slowly. One step at a time. Zephyra bowed gracefully. Thank you for your compassion, Commander. I will not disappoint you.